Hi, welcome to HR Tuesday Tips with the Millers. I'm Janine Miller.
And I'm Lori Miller, your training development SVP. And we're going to be talking today a little bit more about what we need to do when it comes to making sure that we're selecting the right individual for our organization, but also why they don't work out. So I'm going to start it over here with you, Janine. Tell us about some of these things that happen.
Okay, so often we sit there and say, I'm just not good at it. I hear that all the time when business owners will tell me, I don't know what to do, I'm not good, I have high turnover, what went wrong? I'm going to talk about some things that might have gone wrong in your process. You might have realized that the experience of the candidate didn't meet the skills identified. So again, we didn't do the best job when we were pre-screening, nor did we do a good job with what we asked them to find out how well they matched. Questions you asked were not adequately probing the qualifications that were needed. The hiring business manager might lack confidence in the process. Most people do, actually. I find them so uncomfortable with the hiring process. So again, that kind of thing is just going to be getting assistance with the process, as you can with services I provide, or training that Lori does so often. The hiring business manager may even be resistant to change. So you do have to assess your style in the interview process. Too often we say, they just weren't good, they weren't qualified, whatever. A lot of times it's something you've done. So I'm just challenging you to pay attention to your process. And then the hiring business managers don't learn the appropriate or best ways to hire. That's again training or getting consulting assistance, because it does matter. Besides, we also know, any of you that have had high turnover, it's very expensive. So take the time up front. Well, then, how do we resolve this? What should we do? Consider how candidates react to you. Think about it. Again, it's all about reflection. Assess your past history of hiring. Do you have high turnover? Well, stop and ask. You got to ask some questions as to why. Think about what you might have done that can influence that. Did you put an effective ad in place right up front? Again, we talked about that a few weeks back. Did you advertise in the right places? We also talked about that previously. Did you ask follow-up questions? Remember, this is your time to get to know that person, so don't hesitate, don't feel uncomfortable. I have a lot of clients say to me, well, I don't know if I should ask this question. Why not? As long as it's a legal question and it's sticking to the qualifications at hand, you have to find out and get the answer that you need. And then you want to say, do I leave the interview confident? Did I really receive the information I needed? Because if you do leave without the information needed, you know you're not going to make the best decision because you don't have the right information. So what could you recommend for that?
Yeah, we're talking about why employees don't work out. And we may have gone through a great interview selection process and we think we've identified the right candidate. But then when we actually put them in the organization, we have to make sure we have an effective onboarding process. And that's an HR term that we use, is in making sure that we actually train and develop and coach the employees to the realities of the job. And so many times individuals say, yeah, I was trained. I'm like, how long did you go through? Oh, it was 3 hours and it was HR paperwork. That's not training.
Right.
You have to make sure that you're doing job methods training, culture awareness, policies and procedures. That's all the things that you have to do to make sure that the employee knows what's expected, you've trained them properly, and you're coaching them through the whole time that they're now actually going through the honeymoon phase. So I can't stress that enough. So I'm hoping you take a look at all factors why employees don't work out. One, selecting through an effective interview process, and then two, making sure you have an effective onboarding process.
Okay, and to add to that, so you're that small business owner out there and you don't have a lot of different ways of onboarding or different people to help you out. What do you need? You need that employee handbook. We talked about segments previously. A good one. It clearly communicates expectations. You need that good job description that we talk constantly about. And then you need a method of actually guiding them so they know the expectations, but they're also getting feedback on a regular basis. And we're going to talk about performance evaluations and the importance another time. But anyway, those are the kinds of things you have to think about. The onboarding could be as simple as going over the handbook and their job description, and then really staying in touch with them and communicating things along the way. So that's it for now.
Yeah, I just want to leave you. Sometimes organizations, individuals, managers say we can't afford to invest the time and energy going through an effective selection and new hire orientation. I can't say you cannot not afford to do that.
That's right.
So,
I agree.
So thank you for staying tuned with us for another week. Hopefully we've given some other things to think about. So just sit back, relax. We got this.